Hi, Toti.
Was this lady from our people?
Probably gonna press down harder.
What's the name of this thing?
God, now it's all over.
Is it really? Let me see.
Give me a, I'll put my finger down on it.
You know what it is? You know what we need? We need
What?
air. No. Just a little bit of air. Air with that.
Work zone down close to Seward, and depending on how we hit it this morning going down, we had to wait almost 30 minutes there. So, and if we hit it at the right time, we might just cruise on through.
Yeah, if she sees you on the bus,
She'll let us go through. She'll let us go through.
which girl might be the first one? This one with the hard hat. There must be.
Quickly, I'll point out that the beluga whales are on the right, and the doll sheep and mountain goats are going to be on the left. I'll tell you about the belugas real quickly so you can keep your eye out for them. The adults are anywhere from 8 to 14 feet long, and they're white. The juveniles are gray in color, and then they gradually change to a white color as they become adults. You're not going to see an entire whale jumping out of the water. If you do see them chasing hooligans, you're just going to see their back usually. You might see a head poking out or some tail fins, but usually you'll just see their back, and they'll be in pods of several whales. We come up here to a little park on the right, and they've got some concrete statues that resemble what you would see, and you'll see how difficult they are to actually see. Anyway, let me tell you about the doll sheep and mountain goats on the left. They're both white. The way to tell a doll sheep from a mountain goat is the doll sheep have got big curly Q horns. The mountain goats have got shorter horns. Mountain goats will generally be higher up than the doll sheep. The doll sheep are usually just a little bit lower. Now sometimes they're both down here by the road. Actually, I ran across them one day and both species were on the road. But as we drive along these cliffs, you want to look up, start at coach level and just scan up. The ones we saw this morning were about halfway, maybe a third to halfway up those mountains. Actually, a couple of them might have been a little higher than that even.
So gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that.
say.
No, it'd be fun to fly. The thing is, they're gonna really embarrass
Eyes on the road, but you might want to take a peek up here too.
Pretty sure I saw an eagle.
A what?
An eagle.
No.
It looked like it had a lot of head flying. I got a
Think you got it on film?
just for a second.
They're a lot higher than ours.
Oh, yeah.
They're a lot
Well, if any of you have seen Tourniquet Arm when the tide is out, you know that the arm itself is very shallow. There's really only one channel of any depth, and it generally hugs. The reason I say if you have the nerve, the tidal flats are made of glacial silt, and if you put that silt under a microscope, you'd notice that because of the action of the glacier, what it did was it broke off little tiny pieces of the rock, and it's a powder, but it's all an angular form. It has an angular shape to it. It's not like a sand grain that's round and very smooth on the sides. The glacial silt has definite angles to it. What that means is the water gets in between, and because of some of the properties of water, it's difficult to move those pieces of area. The Anchorage Tourniquet Arm area has the third largest tidal variation in the world. The largest is in the Bay of Fundy in Maine, which is about 41 feet. Variations, and that's not a standard variation every day. They measure it over the course of many days and many months, actually. It was very shallow, and so you're not going to get very many plants, if any. Without the plants growing, you're not going to get small fish, and without small fish, you don't get big fish. So for all practical purposes, except for the hooligans and the belugas, pretty good moose habitat, but we didn't see one in there this morning, and I don't see one in there this afternoon either.
that rain we had, it's kind of knocking down.
There's the bicycle trail going right here. They got this thing running.
Oh, look at the bicycle trail running.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, Seward, I love it.
Especially like all downhill.
The lake on the left is called Summit Lake. An avalanche area. In fact, from here to Seward, it's on and off an avalanche area. You'll notice signs that say avalanche or leaving an avalanche area. You also notice gates across, well, they're up now, but they can lower them. And
Here's that side of Michelle.
The trip has wore them out already. They're so excited. Can you see how excited they are? That we're almost in Seward? Get the ship. They're so excited. They all look alike.
Yeah, it's somewhat. Not totally. Yeah, Seward.
well, just a quick point here on a few things in Seward. Seward sits on Resurrection Bay, named after one of the ships. That's the island that the artist Rockwell Kent spent a year on with his son.
First view of the...
Back in 19... does not go into the lower 48. It does not go anywhere else in Alaska. That coal goes on a boat straight for Korea. That's an interesting place to send the resources, I think.
Is that the skirt?
And there's your boat. I don't believe that's called a boat. That's called a ship.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like it could fly, doesn't it? Wings like that, it should be able to.